we face, we're more concerned as elders for the spiritual, the heart for God we have individually and as a church body. On a spiritual level, the numbers we shared show we're a part-time church. That's difficult to hear. Trust me, it's difficult to say. And we know not everyone has a part-time heart. But with almost 60% of the church attending, tithing, and serving on a part-time basis, the numbers speak for themselves. Again, we're not judging or criticizing. It's just where we are right now. Every time we're praying as elders and leaders and trustees about where our church is before God, it always comes back to this. It's a problem with our heart. God has to change our heart, individually and as a church, no matter what we do. But he won't unless we repent individually and as a church and pray for him to turn our hearts to him. There are a lot of reasons how we got here. But as a church, our main goal, our main focus should be, what does God want us to do now? Where do we go from here? And this wasn't in my notes, but I want to speak to, I call us the old guard that have been here forever. We know we've been through a ringer here. Many of you don't know that are new here. The old guard, we took a beating. We're still here. And I'm looking around the room, made me think of it. There's a lot of us here still. And we took a beating. But we're here. It's time to let it all go. It is. No more resentment, no more grudges, no more wishing it was the way it was. It isn't. Larry Bird, Kevin McHale are not walking through that door. Okay? So it's time. Where are we now? The old guard has got to decide, are we going to move forward with God, or are we going to hold on to what happened? And it was just an aside. I don't know how I got there, but I got there. We could stand up here and show you all kinds of future plans. That God's given us a vision and a direction for the church, and he has given us some stuff. We could try to rah you to motivate you. Bring in a guest speaker who's better at it than we are and motivate the heck out of you. But without a heart change in each of us individually, that won't last. It never does. What good would it do for us to merge with another church if this part-time heart is what we bring? What good's it going to do to move to another building if this part-time heart is what we bring? What good's it going to do to bring a pastor in here if all we can give him is this part-time heart? We need to pray for a new heart regarding church attendance. It's not a sin to miss a Sunday. This isn't about legalism. Of course, you can be saved even without attending church, a local church. We know that. But Jesus asked, do you want to be made whole? A Christian that misses out on the blessing of being a part of a local church can't grow spiritually as completely as God has planned for him or her. Without the local church, you can't. Does that mean you can't be saved? Of course not. Does it mean you can't grow in the Lord on your own? Of course not. But God has something here for every one of us when we come to help us grow and to serve each other. Like I said, it's not about legalism, but I would be concerned with my heart for God if I can miss every other Sunday and not have it convict my spirit, bother my spirit. I'd be concerned. The Bible tells us a local church is the primary source of Bible teaching, worship, discipleship, accountability, fellowship. Hebrews 10:24-25. Let us consider how to stimulate one another to love and good deeds, not forsaking our assembling together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. We also need to recognize a cultural attack on the church. And I'm going to speak to the youth a little bit. David Jeremiah had a message this week on the radio, gave out stats. There was a question. They asked the question in 1985 and again in 2010. Is the church still relevant in some people's lives today? 1985, it was like 75%. 2010, for the under 30s, it was 30%. We're losing a cultural war, if that's where you are and that's what you look at and you listen to. That's a lie from hell. It is. And unfortunately, many kids are buying into it. So before we get on the kids, we got to look at the parents of those kids. What were the parents doing all these years? Well, now the kids are listening to the world and saying the church doesn't mean anything to me anymore. Well, it's the parents. Well, today we have a lot of parents in this church with young kids. Is that the path we're going to follow? Or are we going to stop the tide and change the kids' hearts to look at Christ and see church is relevant? It's important to them. It's part of God's blessing in their life to know him. It's what he uses.